What is the oldest piece of gaming hardware that you own? Is it your headset, your keyboard, maybe your mouse? Most of my peripherals don't even last 3 years from the constant wear and tear and 24/7 grinding. But there is one piece of gear that I've neglected to replace for far too long, and that is my controller. It is barely holding on. From dead batteries to stick drift to even my trigger non-stop sticking. Fellas, there are so many issues that can ruin a good controller, which is why today's sponsor, Nixie, has arrived at such an opportune time. You see, guys, this controller has some of the best tech packed inside of it, with the most important being the Hall effect joysticks that, get this, are immune to stick drift. Yeah, you heard that right. Immune to it. The analog triggers also feel very nice. They can be adjusted to exactly the distance that you want, including instant actuation, literally like a mouse button. It's got a one-touch mute button for my console players, a programmable back button, and it even has a 6-axis gyro so that you can use motion controls while playing on the Switch. The controller also allows you to customize levels of vibration with RGB lighting that goes along with it. It has rechargeable internal batteries, and it's compatible with everything from PC to consoles to even mobile devices. That's right, even Destiny Rising players. You can be using this controller as well. Now, if you'd like to add Nixie controller to your gaming arsenal, you can visit our link in the description to visit their website. Christmas is just around the corner, and this is a fantastic gift to give either to your friends, family, or hell, even to treat yourself. And as we get closer to Christmas, we'll also be giving away this controller Nixie has given us to anyone who comments down below on this video. So big shout out to Nixie for sponsoring today's video. Fellas, I have spent a lot of time with this pulse rifle. You see, Gridskipper back in the day was always one of those that eluded me when it came to the God Roll. But now that it's been brought back to us with new rolls, a God Roll has finally graced me. Now let me just say, all of these Splicer weapons are substantially better than their original forms, partly due to the fact they have a great origin trait, that being Splicer Surge, where reloading this weapon after dealing damage grants the weapon a stacking reload speed and handling bonus until stowed, an origin trait that definitely aids it in both PvE and inside of PvP, and it's such an easy one to get going, and it nets you a ton of benefits. But arguably the biggest reason why these Splicer weapons are so good now is just because of the different trait combinations, from repulsor brace to destabilizing rounds, Zim moment, head seeker, lone wolf, head seeker, multi-kill clips also thrown into here, demolitionist, frenzy. There's a lot of different ways you can go with this rapid fire pulse rifle. The question is it worth your time? Now, if you're looking to farm for Gridskipper, there's currently an issue going on with tonics not actually giving you the reward that you're focusing on inside of Contest of Elders. Now, I have not actually tested this myself. I do like the tonic systems, and yes, there is a Gridskipper tonic that allows you to farm for the weapon. However, I am being told that it's not even working correctly. Now, despite those challenges, for me, I was still able to land a couple good rolls, which allowed me to just kind of wrap my head around this weapon. You see, when it comes to rapid fire pulse rifles, especially inside of PvP, we've got some fantastic options, from Oversold Edict, Har's Lease, Scalar Potential, which is also craftable, Claws of the Wolf, Autumn Wind, which is in that kinetic slot, Peace of Mind as well. And let me just say, none of those rapid fire pulse rifles are bad. Each and every single one of them can hold their own. Now, stat-wise, when comparing across the board, Gridskipper actually has the second best range, just coming under Claws of the Wolf and Har's Lease. It also has the second highest stability, as well as the highest handling and the highest reload speed. His aim assist is also sitting comfortably at 80, which isn't the highest, but it's not bad at all. Now, the thing that actually makes it stand out above the rest is actually in its zoom, which is where it sits at 18. Now, keep in mind, zoom has no effect on our range anymore. That was decoupled and changed a long time ago. What zoom does affect, though, is of course the ability to maintain stickiness of your reticle even outside of damage fall off, or in the least, the fall off of that stickiness is less severe. Now, I know my PvP players have already been grinding for Gridskipper, looking for that next best rapid fire pulse rifle inside of PvP, especially when we have perk combinations like Zim moment and head seeker. That's essentially what we love on LC's rifle. But I actually want to loop to my PvE players real quick, because no lie, this thing was actually good inside of PvE. When we compare this to other pulse rifles in terms of DPS, Gridskipper, just like other rapid fires, actually sit at the second highest. Coming in under our heavy burst pulse rifles, things like Corrasion, Nullify, is surprisingly the rapid fire pulse rifles, sitting at 14,732 DPS. Now, I'm not gonna lie, guys, normally I don't give rapid fires much thought when it comes to PvE, but because of that origin trait, I had to give it a go. This origin trait, alongside my multi-kill clip roll, was really nice for PvE. And like, I'm not even that crazy about multi-kill clip, but it worked really good here with that 17% increase in damage with that first stack, 33% increase in damage with that second stack, and 50% increase in damage for that third stack. I paired this with Spirit of Girl Falcons on my Hunter, and fellas, we were shredding. And even though we do have options like Frenzy, destabilizing rounds, hell, even Desperate Measures, for what I was using with Gridskipper, which was essentially a weapon that take care of all that, multi-kill clip did really well for me. I have some qualms about it when it comes to reprocking it, most notably when going from 3 stacks back down to 1 stack. Kind of annoying that it can actually override itself like that. But as I was playing with this role and with Spirit of Gridskipper, I couldn't help but mouth water over a repulsor brace multi-kill clip role. Now I know most people are gonna say, Cross, that's just Gridskipper though. That's volatile. Of course it's good. It's good with every void weapon in the game. Well, although it is very good with many void weapons, I was still very surprised with Gridskipper. The DPS that it's putting out, the rapid fire nature, the magazine size, which sits at 45 with the backup mag mod, and I can't overstress just how good Splicer Surge is, especially considering how easy it is to maintain max stacks. You know, when you're granting yourself 45 extra reload speed on top of a reload duration multiplier, all the woes I had about this archetype long ago, most notably when it came to its handling and its reload speed, is essentially eliminated here with a single origin trait. What I will say for my PvE players that do want to give Gridskipper a go, and again, Gridfalcon users, Pulsar Brace, multi-kill clip all day long, felt really, really good. You can, of course, use Repulsor Brace and destabilizing rounds, and then you got things like Demolitionists that can be thrown in instead if you're looking to build back some of that nade energy. What I will say for my PvE players, though, is that this truly is a weapon that can shred a multitude of ads, from red bars to orange bars, and although other weapons kind of lean more into the utility department, I would say Gridskipper doesn't really stagger that line between utility and lethality. In my opinion, it swings way more in the lethal department, and it just shreds. And this is coming from someone who loves heavy burst pulse rifles. I love Nullify, Corrasion as well, Aisha's Care. I love the utility of Vantage Point. What Gridskipper possesses, though, is that ability to go from ad to ad very fluidly and just shred everything one after another. I'm not saying the blueberries I was playing with inside of matchmaking for Contest of Elders weren't doing well, but we were definitely putting out just a bit more. And Gridskipper was arguably the biggest reason for that. So for my PvE players, don't overlook this weapon. Give it a go. It's got great DPS. Lean into that origin trait, and this weapon will do you well. Now for my PvP players, let me just say, if I had to nail down, at least before Gridskipper got here, my favorite rapid fire pulse rifle in the game, surprisingly, Scalar Potential. And look, this is coming from somebody that has the God Roll Claws of the Wolf. I love Claws. I think Claws is really nice, but Scalar's got that reach. Yes, you can get that same Headseeker roll, which not only assists in giving yourself a little more damage in that crit shot, but it helps you with that aim assist, right? But you can also roll things like Keep Away on Scalar Potential, which gives you a bit more reach, which is exactly why Scalar Potential has a base range of 28. With that being said, though, a very high range roll, like a 58 range roll on Gridskipper, gives us about 34.5 meters versus a Scalar Potential with max range and Keep Away being active being just a hair over 36 meters. Now, to be honest with you guys, anything outside of about 34, 35 meters with this archetype of pulse rifle, dude, it's a good chance I'm already looking at high impact pulse rifles. I'm already reaching for my LC. That no time to explain, especially when we get over 36 meters. That's 2 burst territory for LC, and that's probably what I would be using. However, what Gridskipper has, just like other rapid fire pulse rifles, is the ability to duel within that range. It can catch hand cannons off guard. If it can close the gap against other high impact pulse rifles, it can beat them too. It's gotten rapid enough fire there that if somebody tries to push you with a shotgun or a sidearm, as long as you can maintain just enough range, you could shred them. What rapid fire pulse rifles possess is that ability to counter multiple different weapon types. Now, one thing I would say is a drawback of Gridskipper, and it might be due to the fact that it has 18 zoom, you may just notice that it feels like it has a bit more hop. It's one of those weapons where I just say, hey, just lay on the trigger. You're gonna get the kill, shoot somewhere relatively close to the head, the weapon will give it to you. And this goes for controller players and mouse and keyboard users. This archetype, though, is a bullet hose. And when you're laying on the trigger, one thing you will notice with Gridskipper is, hot damn it does have a bit of hop. Personally, I don't mind it because it was still snagging me kills left and right. With a base time to kill value of 0.8 seconds and 8 crits 1 body on max resilience Guardians, and at tier 5 resilience and below, the ability to snag a kill in 7 crits 2 body. A little bit of hop, I can handle that. Now, does Headseeker really change the game here? For max resilience, not really. Tier 10 is still going to require 8 crits 1 body. However, from tier 8 resilience and below, you can get the kill in 7 crits 2 body, 0.8 seconds. Now, interestingly enough, at tier 4 resilience, you can get the kill, and this is for both base and Headseeker. You can actually land the kill in 8 crits in 0.73 seconds. Now, normally I do like Headseeker, and I think Headseeker is still a great perk here, but multi-kill clip is also present. But keep in mind, for the most part, you're probably just going to be staying at 1 stack. This does raise our damage up enough, though, to get the kill in 7 crits 1 body, 0.73 seconds, even on max resilience Guardians. Matter of fact, at tier 7 resilience and below, at 1 stack of multi-kill clip, you can get the kill in 0.67 seconds in 7 crits. I actually think you can't go wrong with either one of these for for PvP, guys. Headseeker, multi-kill clip, I think are very, very good. I know some people are saying, Cross, why not just completely commit to something like Elemental Capacitor, bump up those stats, whether it's Void for that extra stability, Arc for that extra handling, Stasis for that extra recoil direction. Listen, you can if you want. I just find more value in Headseeker, and I find more value in multi-kill clip. And keep in mind, this origin trait is also at work here inside of PvP. And although I wasn't really that crazy about it on Chroma Rush when we did a review of that weapon, for Gridskipper though, especially for that extra bit of handling, Splicer Surge is very much appreciated. Now this takes us to our third column, perks for PvP. You've got perks like Killing Wind, which is kill activated, which gives you that increased mobility, weapon range, as well as increased handling. You've got Perpetual Motion, which a lot of people like Perpetual. Not only are you giving yourself extra stability, but you're also giving yourself extra handling and extra reload speed. Personally, I think it's going to come down to really just two. And they're actually my two favorite perks when it comes to consistency inside of PvP. One of those is Zim Moments, where causing damage with the weapon reduces recoil and flinch over time. The enhanced version also improves base stability. But then you also have Lone Wolf. This perk is literally one of my favorite perks for PvP this season. It improves aim assist. It also improves your aim down sight speed, your airborne effectiveness, and it increases those effects when there are no nearby allies. Now this passively grants you 11 aim assists for the enhanced version, 12 airborne effectiveness, and a 0.85 times ADS duration multiplier. But get this, guys, if you are nowhere near allies, like if you like to go for the flank, all of those stats are doubled. What I really like about this perk is that it incentivizes you to take that risk, to get that angle, to break away from death balling inside of PvP, which is arguably one of the biggest problems when it comes to 6v6. Is like teammates just stay right on top of each other and then proceed to push nowhere alone. But then we have perks like Lone Wolf, which nets you huge benefits for simply breaking away from your teammates. That's actually the role that I'm looking for right now, guys. I'm actually looking for a Lone Wolf multi-kill clip role or a Lone Wolf Headseeker role. I've got the Zim Moment Headseeker role, and it was really, really good. And all of this gameplay is Zim Moment and Headseeker. Lone Wolf has completely eluded me on this weapon. But for my PvP players, I think Lone Wolf Headseeker is going to be that S tier choice. Now, as far as recoil direction, it sits at 55, which I think is just fine. Again, enhance the weapon, slap on things like ballistics to give yourself that extra range and stability. That +6 bump there is really good. It tacks on almost an entire meter here for Gridskipper. So my thoughts on this weapon for this season, I think Gridskipper is much better than it's ever been. I think it's a great choice for PvE and for PvP. I hope the tonic system gets worked out. We'll be talking about that more here in another day or so and how to work around it. But so far, I've been extremely impressed with this weapon. And I think even for my folks that are not a big fan of rapid fire pulse rifles, I think you'll like this one. Fellas and ladies, thank you all for coming and watching. And as always,
Slap that like button like your mama told you right.